Hello, my freedom walkers, and welcome to Loving Me Unconditionally. I wanted to recap on this video that really means a lot to me. It's about redefining what it means to be a man. Growing up, I was taught some painful and limiting things about manhood, especially a black gay man. Being gay and closeted, especially about being a black man, right? But I've been learning how to redefine it for myself on my own terms, with love, with strength, with authenticity. I believe this conversation right here will resonate with anyone who's ever felt boxed in by society's expectations. Let's talk about it.
Loving me unconditionally.
We're going to talk about those traditional scripts of masculinity that really never felt like home. And I want to reclaim what being a man means to me. Now, this may not be for anybody else in the world. And I'm definitely not saying that this is one size fits all. I'm just saying this is for me. I'm not speaking for an entire culture of people. I'm not speaking for the black male race, black man, or to black race, or to the black gay man, or to anybody else. This is 100% strictly from my perspective, what I've been through and what I am applying to my life. Okay. Um, there's a lot of toxic myths that I was taught growing up. Don't cry. That's a sign of weakness. Don't feel. Show yourself to be tough at all times. And don't show weakness. In other words, that really meant don't show vulnerability because people are going to treat you like you're weak or like you're a punk, right? The pressure to perform these gender roles is astonishing, right? Um, because you want to fit in, you want to be like everybody else. You don't want to be a. You did. I didn't want. I didn't want to be a misfit or to be picked upon or to be looked down upon. Like I saw other guys. You had your DL guys. If people don't know what DL means, like down low guys who portray themselves to be like masculine and tough and loving girls, and but really on the backside, they were actually having sex with guys, other guys, or they really were attracted to guys. Yeah. However, there were guys who were just naturally just feminine guys, and they hung around girls most of the time. Um, but they were bullied so badly. Oh my gosh, man! You talking about called faggots, tripped in the hallway, thrown in the trash can, just treated poorly, and just talked about. Or even if you hung around them, people will look at you like you're funny, or like something like is wrong with you, like you don't fit in. And you know the pressure of school, you know the pressure of finding your identity and wanting to fit in and wanting to be a part. Now, this actually went outside of um, high school as well, even whenever in real life situations, even in the church, if there was a guy who was feminine or whatever, the tambourine players or whatever the case may be. And that's a big thing now that I hear about. Like, oh, I even saw a YouTube video recently or some video, social media somewhere, where like the preacher said, there will be no men in my church playing the tambourine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you look back like thousands of years, that was like one of the instruments men used and was playing the tambourine. All of a sudden is considered like you're a homosexual, you're going to hell, and I don't want nobody feminine. I want everybody to be masculine around me, you know. Anyways, I that whole persona or that whole expectation to be a certain way and act a certain way has really, really disconnected me a lot of times from the black community and a lot of other people. Even I heard some Hispanic friends or Latino friends who would say the same thing of how their parents or their families disown them whenever they're 14-year-olds that I have met that ended up being homeless because they told their parents, they came out to their parents to a safe space, and their dad or whoever else the case may be, or totally embarrassed, beat them to a pulp and kicked them out and say, you are no longer part of our family. And I'm like, oh my gosh, man. Now you're telling me all these years your love for me was actually fake. It was conditional. You had to be a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way in order for me to love you. And that's all this whole topic is, as well as about redefining who you are or who I am and what manhood means to me. And first of all, um, I remember the stories like in the fifth grade, um, back in the country in the South. We're talking about like the 80s, late 80s. I kind of remember eras to songs that were out. I remember around this time, um, Will Smith. Back then, he was like the Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. I remember the song. Listen, homeboys, don't mean to bust your bubbles. The girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. And I remember, what's his name? Uh, LL Cool J. Man, that dude was fine. Anyway, um, boom, boom, boom. I need love. That song, right? So I remember things a lot of times in my life by the songs that were in my life. But I remember in the fifth grade, already having about a lot of the boys already having sex in the fifth grade. I know it's like today, like whoa. But I'm talking about in the dirty South in the country, right? It was already happening. I remember about boys talking about they popped that cherry, or or there was a lot of dry humping going on in the classroom. The teacher walk out the room, a guy go up to a girl and start humping them, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, get it," or whatever the case may be. Um, being exposed to porn at an early age, and I want you to know this the that we were already like hypersexualized. It meant being a man to treat females like sexual objects, like already fifth grade. How old are you in the fifth grade? 11, somewhere around there, 11, 12 ish. And I remember being exposed to porn early. I remember like my cousins and them watching. I'm talking about older grown men, right? Watching it, and we've been in the room watching porn, straight up porn. It was straight porn, but watching porn, having like dirty magazines and just all of these things already. I'm talking about 11, 12, 11 years old, dude. And it wasn't really during that time any talk about like it is now in the schools because I'm a teacher. I taught for years, and there was really no major talk about um, sexual harassment. It was really almost non-existent, unless there was a major case of like rape or something like that. I was told like you better get it, like who you having sex with, and all this type of stuff. I'm talking about in middle school, man. Um, and like, and I've been around guys, talking, grabbing your crotch or whatever the case may be, and all of the scenarios that makes you a real black man. But it all started with um, the size of your man parts and how many girls you're having sex with, right? I even see it now on social media about how to be a real man, especially in the black community, like on black forums or whatever the case may be. You hear men talking about, you hear women talking about, oh, you got to be like this. That ain't no real black man. A real black man does this. And they'll find scriptures, or they'll like, a real black man says this. A real man does that. A real man does this. And a real man, oh, he's not a real man. I'm like, what the fuck is a real man? It's all about personal opinions of what people have gone through, and everyone has this like opinion. And my thing is, we definitely haven't learned enough in school, because opinions are not facts. They're opinions based upon your personal experiences in life. Even the black church, women looking for a man, for men, or were hurt, and these men had like a lot of toxic masculinity. I remember like, just, the women do this, the women do that, the women do all these things, and I sit back as a man, and I'm just the breadwinner, and that's it. No real personal interaction with the kids, and just a bunch of stuff, right? So everybody has their version of what a real man is supposed to be or should be, and no one ever discusses the contents of a human's or a person's heart, their authenticity, and who they really, really are. I look at that in different ways here, like what manhood means to me now. Um, to me, it's about compassion. It's about courage. It's about emotional honesty. It's about authenticity. It's also, to me, not these strict gender roles or ideologies. It's, if you can't be your true authentic self, my question is, does anything really matters? Does anything really matter? If you cannot be your true authentic self, then to me personally, absolutely nothing really matters. It just doesn't, because you're not even walking in truth. You're just walking in the expectations of other people. And if you have to be someone else because society says you should be them, then what's the point? Who are you really pleasing, and who are you really? Right? I am learning now that the person that I am at home is the person that I always want to be. I don't want to be somebody else. Don't want to be this shallow man out in public, so people can look and say, "Oh, that's how you're supposed to be." I don't want to be that. I just want to authentically be me. And it's a journey, because I have 4 decades of deprogramming, that still a lot of things still need to be done, but I am becoming. I am loving myself enough to look at the innermost beauty of me, and allowing that to shine, and no longer dimming my light because people around me feel uncomfortable in who I really am. So I want to talk about how I'm allowing myself to expand into the fullness of being a man, um, on my own terms. One of my favorite songs, and here's another thing about being like a black person or whatever, is Frank Sinatra. I told somebody that, they were like, "Oh, you trying to be white?" It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I like all genres of music, all different types of genres of music. And it ain't me trying to be black, trying to be white, trying to be whatever, trying to be masculine, trying to be feminine, and none of that stuff. It's just me wanting to be me. And Frank Sinatra has this song, "I Did It My Way." And I sing different ways. Sometimes I'll sing like this opera type style. Sometimes I'll sing like this gospel style or this rhythm and blues style, whatever I feel like, right? So at the end of his song, I always get choked up and emotional when I do karaoke. Um, I did it my way. And here are the words to the end of this song that just hits me deep. And I'm going to just read it. I'm not going to sing it. I don't think I am. I might start feeling a little bit of it. I don't know yet. But it's like, for what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, he has not. Which means he has nothing. If you cannot be your authentic self, then what else are you? Who else are you? You're just trying to live and be somebody else. To say the things, whew, I'm feeling it already. He truly feels. And not the words of one who kneels. And this is talking about authenticity right here, is kneeling to the beliefs, kneeling to the expectations, kneeling to the customs and the traditions of other people. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. Mm, 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 mm. I'm going to sing that karaoke one day. Letting go of shame, fear, and those inherited expectations is so big. Baby, let me tell you something right here. The day I let go of shame and started giving two fucks about what other people thought, my life began to become light as a feather. The day I stopped being afraid of the outcome of the decisions that I make and to be my authentic, pure, natural born self and began to live in this moment, woo-wee, let me tell you something. My life began to blossom and open up. The day I decided, yeah, this is the old preacher man coming out of me now. The day I decided to chart my own course and not follow the inherited expectations of those who tried to keep me in a box. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. Joy and peace began to fill those empty voids in my life. Healing began to take place in my life. The day I realized that being a man is more than gender roles and how the black community thinks I should be, but the very essence of my soul, I learned that being my authentic self is absolute beautiful and is the absolute gateway to stepping into my purpose in this life. I got all and I go all in and dismiss all the things that never, ever, ever, ever served me. I am loving myself unconditionally. And today I am affirming. And you can affirm this with me. You can say man, woman, or whatever the case may be. Whatever fits your role. For me, it's going to be man. It could be woman. It could be whatever your gender identity is. Just replace the word. But for me, I say I am a man who chooses love over fear. I am a man who chooses truth over performance. I am a man who chooses healing over hiding. I redefine masculinity with every breath I take. I am strong because I am soft. I am whole because I am real. The closing affirmations. Let's do this together. You ready? Repeat after me. It is okay to be my true, authentic self. Yeah. I have absolutely nothing to prove to anyone else. I can't be anyone else. I can't be anyone else. I can only be me. I choose to walk in my truth, which is the gateway to my freedom. Last one. I choose to love myself unconditionally. Let's rewrite these rules. Let's rewrite the rules for our own lives. Let's take back our sovereign power to walk in self-love. Let's take back our sovereign power to live life to the fullest. Let's take back our sovereign power over our lives to love ourselves unconditionally. Whew. This is J Love and Loving Me Unconditionally. Like, subscribe, follow, share, and let's take this journey, this beautiful journey of loving me unconditionally together. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You deserve love, baby. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Loving me unconditionally. Loving me unconditionally. Through the fire, through the storm, I found the truth inside of me. Loving me unconditionally. Loving me unconditionally. No more shame, no more fear. I'm exactly who I'm meant to be.